It's been called the Obamacare trap because, to hear the Washington Examiner tell it, the worse Obamacare gets, the worse it is for Republicans come 2014. Here's the logic from Byron York. Republicans can't repeal the law because it's already so embedded in the healthcare system. So it forces Republicans either to fix it or pay the price at the polls. Not sure I follow that logic. But is Byron York right? Fair and balanced as always to Hadley, Heath and Julie Roginski. All right, Hadley, you buying that logic?
You know, when I think of the Obamacare trap, the first people I think of are not Republicans, but Americans who've lost their insurance plans or who are looking at significant changes in their insurance, not by their choice, but as a result of this law. So Republicans who are looking at ways to change or make Obamacare different, it's not necessarily they have to agree to fixes. They can agree to changes that open up consumer options, and in the meantime, that actually undermines the purpose of Obamacare, which is government control.
Okay, so you don't agree with the logic. It's not the Republicans who are going to pay the price for Obamacare, it's the Democrats. That's your opinion, right, Hadley? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Julie.
Well, I think Hadley has somewhat of a point. I don't agree with Byron's logic. I will say this. Republicans want to repeal Obamacare, which is what you're seeing over and over again in the House and the Senate trying to pass legislation to repeal it 30-something times. 32% of the American voters, according to the last Gallup poll, support full repeal, which is what the Republicans want to do. So if they persist in doing this, they're going to have to explain why they're taking away health care that provides people who have pre-existing conditions with care. I mean, there's more parts of Obamacare. From a political perspective, there's more to it.
But the immediate argument is Obamacare is chaos and confusion, an extra cost and great difficulty for millions and millions of people.
That is an argument that Republicans are making.
This was passed without a single Republican vote. This is strictly a Democrat affair, and you're saying that the Democrats will not get the blame for this mess. It'll be the Republicans. I don't get it.
But don't forget this. The argument that you're making, it's a very cogent argument for the Republicans who have been making it for quite a while. They've been making it now for 4 years. Nevertheless, only 32% of the public, despite everything you just said, support their positions. From a political standpoint, not a policy standpoint, that is not a winning argument going to 2014.
How do you respond to that, Hadley? Only 32% of the American voting population says repeal it entirely.
Well, there's people who would like to see part of it repealed or at least part of it changed. So there's not an overwhelming majority of Americans who, for example, support keeping the law as is. That's the counter argument there. But to Julie's point about repealing the law, yes, that is an uphill battle. And Byron York, writing in the Washington Examiner, made a very important point that Obamacare is like other entitlements. We look at Medicare and Social Security. Those programs have staying power because they are entitlement programs. They've become the third rail of politics, we say. And that is what Obamacare threatens to become because there are few winners. Most of us will be losers under Obamacare, and in the long run, I believe everyone will be a loser because of the changes to our medical system.
Hold on.
But in the short term, there are winners.
Actually, it was just the other day. Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius, she admitted some people will be paying more for health care under Obamacare. Just listen to this for a second.
There are some individuals who may be looking at increases. I think you cannot make a statement based on cost unless you compare what they had to what they're going into.
It's not just some individuals, Julie. It's millions of people who are going to be paying more. Right. And I don't think they're going to be blaming Republicans. I think they're going to be blaming Democrats.
Well, a million people will be paying less. That's the difference. And so,
no, they'll be getting a subsidy.
Well, no. Well, whether they're getting a subsidy or whether they're getting care that they couldn't have before because they have pre-existing conditions, or whether they have insurance policies that now, thanks to the competitive market in New York State, for example, because of the exchanges here, a lot of people are paying less. So
Far more people will pay a lot more.
Not accurate.
Oh, yes, it is.
Not accurate.
The premium will go. How about the deductibles?
Are you talking about people who now have to go out
deductibles?
No.
Tell me about deductibles.
Deductibles have been going up for the past 40 years.
Yeah, but they're going up a whole lot more in the immediate future.
You're missing my point. What if I went out on the open market before Obamacare and had to buy health care, right? Without it, and I'm not making a lot of money. I don't have any subsidies. I don't have any access to health care if I could even get health care. So a lot of these people are being winners here. But not to belabor this point, at the end of the day, what the Republicans are suggesting is something the American people don't want, which is a full repeal.
Hadley, last word to you.
Well, an important part of Republican messaging moving forward will be alternative forms of health reform, and that's why it's so important that we read some of these bills that are in Congress that are proposed by Republicans. The Republican Study Committee is behind a bill. Dr. Tom Price has had a bill for years, so there are conservative solutions to many of the problems that Americans agree need addressing.
Post it for a vote.
I said last word to Hadley, Julie.
Sorry.
Hadley and Julie, thank you very much indeed. We appreciate you being with us.
Thank you.
Retailers.